Hey guys, Bruce here. We are in Whitney, Texas.
Good, yeah.
Karen is sitting in the car using the telephone.
Yeah, we'll get ours
Say hi, dear.
when we
Say
get
hi,
home.
dear. We're at the camp store. Karen's phone, for some reason, doesn't get cell service up at the campsite. So we came down here so she could return a couple of phone calls. At this very moment, she's talking to her mother, Chris. So Chris will see this on Facebook. And then she's going to call Katie afterwards. We are in Whitney, Texas, which is between Dallas and Waco. It's closer to Waco, Texas. I think it's about 30 miles north of Waco and about 40 miles south of Dallas. It's a Thousand Trails campground. We've been here since Saturday night. We drove from Yuma. No, not Yuma. Where were we? El Paso, Texas, which was, we stayed at a winery in Anthony, New Mexico, sister city of Anthony, Texas, and neighboring city to El Paso, Texas. So we left El Paso on Saturday and drove through to Whitney, Texas, and it was a nerve-wracking ride. Just like right now, I hope the wind isn't terrible here. I think I'm going to have to keep facing in this direction because it feels like the wind is coming from that direction. Yeah, come to find out, in Odessa, Texas, they had hailstorms touch down, and they had a number of tornadoes pass through the panhandle of Texas. So that was all blustery and making its way around Route 20, Interstate 20, between El Paso and Fort Worth, which is the route that we took. It was about a 6-hour ride, and probably 4.5 hours of it was in nerve-wracking wind. I had to slow down. I had to set I never went over, the speed limit in some places was 80 miles an hour, but I never went over, I set the cruise control for 59, just arbitrarily. Never went over 60, and even a lot of that time it was uncomfortable, although I wasn't the only one. It's not like I was holding up traffic. There were sandstorms that we could just barely see through. Visibility was cut way down. At one point I had to get up and get some paracord out of one of the storage cabinets, storage bays underneath, climb up on top in 30, 40 mile an hour gusts, and climb up on the roof and tie the two awnings from one side to the other, tie the two roll bars together, because the one on the passenger side was kept trying to unroll. So I tied that down with some paracord, and then we made it through to Whitney. So yeah, Whitney, it's what's the population is around 2,000, and it's actually Lake Whitney was dammed. I don't know what river or stream was dammed in 1950 or 49 or 45, somewhere around there. They dammed and created Lake Whitney. And the very first, well, it had to be 1949, because in 1955 they had the very first bass tournament in the country ever here at Lake Whitney. So it must be a good bass fishery, although that was, what, 50, 60 years ago. So maybe it's not so good anymore, but I do have a fishing pole with me, and I do have some tackle, but have not broken it out to go do any fishing yet. So our hope is probably tomorrow. Today's a fast day. Tomorrow's a feast day, so that we can enjoy some food down in Waco. Karen, one of the reasons we're here is because Karen wanted to go to Magnolia Market. It's down, I think it's in Waco, or it's right adjacent to Waco. I think it's in Waco. Magnolia Market, if you've ever watched, it's a fixer-upper show on the DIY networks. Chip and Joanna Gaines, they do home restorations, remodelings, flips, wonderful couple, and Christian couple, and they have a market that they opened. It's in, I think it's in an area that's all sorts of markets and tents, or I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out when we get there. But they do have. She also, Joanna Gaines has a kitchen, so she does her own cooking and recipes there. I don't know if she'll be there, but anyway, Karen wanted to go by there, so that's one of the places we're headed tomorrow on a feast day. And also a friend of Bob Woodrow's that we hooked up with in Quartzsite, Arizona, Ray Caldwell and his wife Carousel. They bought a new fifth wheel. As it turns out, they were now I forget the name of the town. All I can think of is Clementine. It's not Clementine, obviously. But if you look up, if you're looking for an RV, if you search online for the biggest RV store in the USA, you'll find it. It's about 30 miles north of us, and we'll probably stop there. We're not looking for an RV, but I assume they have a very big camp store, so we'll stop in there and find out what we didn't know that we need, and do some shopping there. It's Motor Home Specialists. That's the name of the store, and online it's MHSRV, MHSRV.com. And we almost came when we bought ours. We were shopping in 2018 when we bought our motorhome. We knew exactly what we wanted. We couldn't find it anywhere in the country. We didn't end up finding it in Pennsylvania and had it sent to New Hampshire. But we almost spent the couple $100 to fly down here to Texas to the MHSRV store and drive it back. But as it turned out, it wasn't necessary. So we left California on, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago. I lose track of time. We're spending so much time on the road. But we had a splendid 7.5 weeks in California with Bob. I already posted about this on Facebook, but spent a couple of weeks just right in Bob's backyard in the RV. A couple of weeks in Palm Springs, Palm Desert actually. A couple of weeks in Quartzsite. A couple of weeks in Menifee, California, and that was it. We spent, like I said, 2 months in California. Never been out here to the West Coast before. Absolutely fabulous time. A good part of that was just spending time around the campfire and shops, restaurants, and what have you with Bob and John Early. We did not see Ray and Carousel again after we left Quartzsite, but we've been in touch with them on Facebook. They just bought a new fifth wheel, and like I said, they didn't buy it at MHS, but across the street or just across town, they just bought a brand new fifth wheel, a huge monster RV, and drove that home yesterday on Sunday. So they're headed back to California with that. What else for updates? Well, I should probably keep this short. I tend to get long-winded. Since Karen's not with me, I don't have my fact checker with me. In fact, I may have already given you some erroneous information about Whitney and the surrounding area. I've had the drone up in the air. I get the drone up in the air every opportunity I get. I've posted some photos and videos of that, and today's another awesome. It's 82. Kind of disappointed. It was supposed to be 83 today. It's only 82, but it's just a gorgeous day out here. I don't know if you can see up in the sky, but we actually, for the first time in a couple of months, we're seeing clouds in the sky. White, fluffy clouds, not rainstorm clouds, just some clouds all the time. We were in California, maybe for 3.5 hours out of 2 months. We might have seen a cloud go by. Other than that, it was perfect weather and perfect temperatures over here. I think last night I think it was like in the mid-50s. Obviously, it's still, the season is the same here. It's still spring, but it'll be warming up here a lot quicker and sooner than it will up in Maine. we'll be on the road. We're anxious to get to Memphis, Tennessee. We're going to spend a week at Graceland, Elvis Presley's estate, and he has a campground, or he doesn't, obviously he's passed away, but his estate has a campground on the grounds of where his museum and auditorium is. We'll be spending a week there. Butch and Janice already spent some time there last. Oh, that's right. I think we're spending 4 days there. But they were there last year, and we're looking forward to going there. We already have our tickets for the tour of Elvis's mansion. And where else are we headed from there? We're gonna meet up with Tara and Justin Johnson and family along the way home. See them for a couple of days. Justin was going to scout out a church parking lot or a shopping center parking lot or someplace where we can spend for a couple of days and just park and run off batteries and holding tanks. But we're looking forward to spending time with them. So we have a month, right? Today is it March 15th? So we'll be home on April 15th. So we have a month. My math is correct. It'll be 31 days before we get home. So we're looking forward to that. Hopefully by mid-April it'll be good weather, warm weather, or at least warm spring weather in Maine. So we'll be home then, and yeah, anxious to get home and very anxious to see our daughter and son-in-law and the grandkids. And we haven't talked to them on the phone quite as much as we would like to. Time zone differences, it's amazing how much of a consideration that is, where, you know, one time we were 3 hours behind, and then 2 hours, now we're 1 hour behind you. So whatever time this gets posted, we're in the central time zone now, so we're only 1 hour behind Eastern Standard Time. Let's see, I guess that's enough of an update for now. Maybe we're here for a week, so maybe in a couple of days I'll post another video after I remember everything that I'm forgetting to tell you. But I'll keep this one a little bit briefer. 12 and a half minutes, it's not that brief, is it? All right, so Karen is over there in the car still. She's probably on the phone with Katie at the moment. But we are going to go back to the campsite and do so. We just went downtown Whitney, and it's not much of a downtown, but we just went down to check out local shops. There was one pizza shop, one ice cream shop, an antique store, and a lot of empty buildings. But it's a spectacular day here, so I hope you are having a spectacular day regardless of the weather or the temperature. And we will talk to you soon. Love you all. God bless. Bye.